Hi guys, one of the first actions of the new government was to scrap the Rwanda scheme. It was currently costing £700 million and resulted in less than half a dozen people going to the African nation on a voluntary basis. It was sold as a deterrent, a strange one as former Tory ministers and Rishi Sunak himself claimed Rwanda was both a wonderful place to live but also so bad that it would deter people from coming to Britain. Now the new Prime Minister is under pressure to come up with a new plan, and it seems he's open to something that the far-right Italian government has in place, which is rightly causing concern within his party.
Inspiration for cutting small boat crossings. That's the reason that Keir Starmer is there with Giorgia Meloni today, and it's an issue that's been magnified this weekend, hasn't it? Yesterday, 8 people died as they attempted to cross the Channel, and Italy has seen the number of migrants crossing from North Africa fall by more than 60% in the past year. Now, how did Italy do that? Well, partly it's financial deals with Tunisia and Libya to strengthen border security there. There's also an asylum processing deal with Albania. Now, the difference between the Italian-Albanian deal and the UK-Rwanda deal, which Keir Starmer scrapped as practically his first act as Prime Minister, is that it's Italian officials doing the processing in Albania rather than Albanian officials, and also that if asylum seekers are found to have a valid asylum claim, then they can make their life in Italy rather than Albania. So it's very interesting to see what Keir Starmer can take from Giorgia Meloni there. But as you say, while he seeks inspiration on this specific policy area, there are some Labour MPs privately anxious about this, and one publicly so. Kim Johnson, who's on the left of the party, the Labour MP for Liverpool Riverside, told The Guardian it is disturbing that Keir Starmer is seeking to learn lessons from a neo-fascist government.
And he's right. Now, why will they not choose the simple solution, that of safe routes? Create a safe route and then you can avoid all of these problems. But instead, we're engaging once again in this charade, in this dance of avoiding a proper solution and pandering to racists and bigots, pandering to the Nigel Farage brigade. So there are a number of differences between what Britain could achieve and what Italy is achieving. So as was pointed out in this report, Italy has agreements with North African countries. It's sending some asylum seekers to Albania for processing. Now, if those claims are successful, they are returned to Italy. If they're not, there's an appeal system in place in Albania. And in some cases, they will be returned to their country of origin. And if not, they will stay in Albania. And of course, Albania is getting a lot of money for this. All in place to reduce immigration numbers or asylum numbers. Now, Italy is halfway between North Africa and some of the destinations these asylum seekers want to eventually arrive at. So we can't really compare Italy with Britain because most of the people trying to get to Britain want to stay in Britain. A lot of the people trying to get to Italy want to move on to another country after that. But this idea of, okay, let's rehash the Rwanda scheme. Look, I hope, and I don't think it's going to be the case, but I hope Keir Starmer is not going to reopen a negotiation with Rwanda. That was an absolute disaster. But also the idea of offshore processing. So I don't think it's a good idea, but how it work would be probably like the Albanian model, where you send asylum seekers to another country, they're processed there. If they're successful, they will return to Britain to move on to refugee status and eventually rebuild their lives in Britain. If they're unsuccessful, they would be returned to their country of origin or they would stay in that country. Now, in order to achieve that, you need to have new agreements. So an agreement with countries in Europe or agreements with Rwanda, for example. Now, the problem with the Rwanda scheme was that it wasn't so much a problem in Rwanda, it was a problem in Britain. The Supreme Court said that Rwanda is not a safe country. So it's difficult to send people to Rwanda if it's not a safe country. And Britain, of course, was allowing asylum seekers in from Rwanda. So it was undermining its own narrative. So I don't think Keir Starmer will go down the road of renegotiating something with Rwanda. It would make more sense which is not a lot of sense anyway, but it would make more sense to do some sort of deal with an Eastern European country maybe. Also, in regards to distance, it's closer and it's easier to fly people to that place. But once again, I don't support these policies. They're fraught with a lot of problems, and also you need to send British officials to those countries, so that takes time to negotiate. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.